We see some concern out there today over comments that were made by Trump, and I've got a few emails from individuals that live in Maine that are voicing their concern about this tie between our state of Maine and the country of Montenegro. Now, in this interview where Tucker Carlson was talking to Donald Trump, he basically asked him, what's up with this country? Why should I send my son to defend this country? Yada, yada. And they're like, yeah. They're part of NATO. NATO was created to stop a Russian invasion. Then they went on to state that a Russian invasion isn't going to happen. It's never going to happen with Europe. You're never going to see it, in so many words. And we could see anything happen out here on the world stage, depending on how they want to swing it and spin it. But per this conversation, they get on this kick about Montenegro in that they are very aggressive, and that backing these aggressive individuals could result in World War III. It was really just left right there with that comment. There wasn't no going deep into discussion about the people. And they say, we have no problem against the people in Montenegro or Albania or any other country. I guess what they tried to flip this back to is NATO. And then Trump goes on to state that, look, all these countries have been wanting our military backing and wanting our help and our support, but they're not wanting to pay for nothing. So they're going to have to pay for something in terms of this. But if you're hearing the discussion of Montenegro and World War III, what I am getting out of this whole thing, there may be more ticker taped into it than what meets the eye. We may see something come down the road. That's why this whole thing was brought up and put into this little interview and dropped on the masses. They do things like that. Or it could amount to not much of anything. But they're talking about the small Montenegro and that such a small country could lead to World War III. I mean, look at everything else we've seen going on out here. They could lead to World War III. Everything with China, the stuff in Syria, Ukraine, all these other areas, Afghanistan. I mean, come on. And then out of nowhere, the talk of this little country in World War III, well, it didn't have any substance behind it thus far in terms of a reasoning. But after doing some digging, we find out some very interesting information that many people out there may not be aware of when it comes to Maine. It looks like the governor of Maine was just in Montenegro. And would you believe this? Maine and Montenegro signed an agreement in 2006, just months after the country's independence, as part of a U.S. Department of Defense National Guard state-sponsored program. They're saying that under this partnership, the Maine National Guard has assisted their military with training operations in this newly independent country. Additionally, representatives from Maine have assisted with emergency response, marine patrol operations, and other initiatives in Montenegro. So, are the American people realizing that independent states are striking up independent deals with other small countries and sending our men and women to other places to train and to do things in these countries outside of the normal military apparatus? You're talking about our National Guard troops out of each state, and with this state being Maine. And of course, others could say, okay, we send our troops around the globe all the time doing this and doing that. Yes, that is our troops as a whole. That is our military as a whole. That's not just one state stepping up and saying, oh, we're going to strike up a deal with this country and start sending our National Guard troops there. And most people not realize what's happening. But this is what's happening. And that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to leave a link. I'll continue to update with more as I come across it. It's been WW7.